Oh, yeah. Heck yes. Earnings season's freaking back already. We were ready for this to happen, and this is the first week here, which obviously starts with financials. It's a big week for really setting the tone of how this earnings season might go. So, starting October 12th this week, we love to see it. Really, we don't get any earnings until Tuesday, but this is just quality stuff. I have a couple main focus stocks, but obviously in general, the financials are the focus of this week. But I threw in a couple different focus stocks as well. I want to preface this obviously with your first one you see here, anyways. J.P. Morgan Chase. J.P. Morgan's actually very excited for Q3 earnings. They expect beats and to drive some upside here because of how beat down obviously the sector's been as a whole. And they've lagged the market by quite a bit. If you look at just the Spider Financial Sector Fund, this is, year to date, down overall 18.8%. So this is a sector that's been absolutely hammered hard. These financials are getting hit. They're getting hit. What can I say to you? So, obviously, with that in line, we'll go ahead and get right into this Tuesday, starting with J.P. Morgan Chase before open. As far as insights, again, really, I don't necessarily have any insights into the business themselves. Unfortunately, I don't have any contacts really that are in banking, or especially not these big finance companies. So I'm really curious on seeing some of this because regardless, I will say from a credit standpoint, I think you can definitely note that consumer spending is absolutely up, and I can guarantee you from a credit spend standpoint that it's probably up as well. So that'll benefit some of these companies. Overall, I can't tell you if there's going to be extra new accounts, whatever that might be. I'm curious on that aspect as well. But we'll see how that plays out. Johnson & Johnson after them is actually one of my picks for a focus stock, and there's many reasons for it. But if you look at the numbers, they're expected $1.96 EPS versus a $2.12 a year ago. Not unexpected if they see a decline on that, so I could see that being a valid number for them. But they are expected to see sales decline 2.8%. And I would be pretty shocked if they posted a negative number this quarter. I don't think they will. I think it'll be closer to flat or a positive 1 to 2%, personally. Because I think what they're doing is these are products that are quite relevant to the current time. We're talking about, obviously, babies booming. I can't lie to you. There are so many babies popping out. It is incredible. People are having babies like no one's business this year. So they have a benefit in baby care. They naturally have a benefit in hand soaps. Johnson & Johnson, big into just a hygiene and hand soap categories. And we also need to talk about, I think investors are probably going to be looking at vaccine news because this is obviously one of the big players potentially in a treatment or vaccine. And this is what investors are going to want to hear about. They really do care about this, and that could drive the stock up. Obviously, it's a boring stock. Come on now. Johnson & Johnson, the thing doesn't move much, but it's a very good core holding, no doubt. But again, good news on a vaccine front could be the difference between a positive reaction to the earnings or a negative reaction. So I'm curious on that aspect. So that's why Johnson & Johnson is a focus for me. We then have Citi. Again, we talk about the potential of increased credit spend. I'm very curious to look at what those numbers look like for these companies, and I'll be focusing on them this week coming up. We've got Delta. What else can I say? BlackRock Financials again. Don't know how their investments have gone this quarter, but you'd think pretty good. Good quarter for investments. If they've been smart about it, they should have some pretty good numbers coming out of BlackRock. We've got Fastenal, New Oriental. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that. First Republic Bank, AZZ. It's kind of like the way that they say the bad word, but they're kind of censoring it, so they're doing Z's instead of S's. So I kind of get that, and I do respect it. And WI Pro, We Pro, you gotta love it. That is the new, that special kind of remote that you use for your Wii, the Wii Pro. It helps detect your motions a little bit better, so it's lifelike. Wednesday, we got another Focus stock. That's right. Here we go. Focus stock in Bank of America. Why? Well, because I think I like Bank of America. What can I say? I'm a really big fan of this company. And I think they've been beaten down pretty unfairly this year. Average EPS estimate of 47 cents compared to 56 a year ago. I wouldn't be shocked again to see a decline in EPS year over year. I mean, I would not be shocked. You talk about just a decrease in terms of overall total business. I think that's very valid. Expected to decline sales 9.3% for the full year, declining 5.8%. I find that to be valid, but again, to see this stock down over 20% this year, I don't know if that's necessarily fair for this when you see only a 10% decline in sales. Less than 10%, really 5.8% for the full year potentially. I don't think they deserve the unfair stock decline that they've been necessarily getting. I do think that's a valid percentage decline. I think they'll beat on a revenue standpoint, but I think a big portion of it might rely on guidance for this company too. So keep an eye on guidance and see where that takes us. And we have Progressive. Nothing crazy there. United Health Group. There could be some interesting stuff with United Health Group, and I mentioned that obviously. But you talk about some weird partnerships that go on. Obviously, with Walmart is one of them, and Walmart starting their own healthcare themselves. Partnered obviously with United Health Group as one of the main providers with them. I'm curious as what that looks like, if they even mention that, or what kind of an impact that could have on them. But overall, I don't necessarily know what healthcare is going to look like this quarter again. It's so hard to tell because there's a lot of really treatments that are being done for free. There's less people going to hospitals, I think, in general, just because of fear of, catching a disease. I mean, that's my opinion on the matter. I think that there's less hospital trips, as you can probably tell. We then have Wells Fargo. Quality stuff with Wells Fargo. Goldman, Eat My Sacks. You gotta love Goldman, Eat My Sacks. Should have a good quarter, I would presume, in terms of investment strategies, as long as they were smart. You got PNC Bank, U.S. Bank Corp, Infosys, and ASML. So again, financials, just the key. Financials are the freaking key, and I want to be focused on them. After close Wednesday, you've got United, Alcoa. You have Sleep Number. Sleep Number isn't necessarily the company you expect to find a benefit in the recession-type environments because these are expensive mattresses. We're talking about starting at $1,000 for these because they do some tremendous things, obviously. So I don't necessarily see if they see a benefit or boom in business. I don't think they will just because of the price, but I do think in general there's potential because of the fact that, I mean, you talk about everything going on right now. I think stress levels are an all-time high for people, and sleeping could be something that brings them, a nice, relaxing moment, a little piece of bliss. And getting a nice mattress like a Sleep Number could do it for them, but I don't think it's necessarily going to see that big of a benefit. And then you see Accolade and Crystal Clear. Copy that, fella. Loud and clear. Thursday before open, we have Afria. Hey, this is a quality one. Walgreens Boots Alliance. I think Walgreens puts a decent quarter up. I think they're one of those that actually sees increased spending with everything going on. I think allergies have been pretty rough this year too for a lot of people. So again, I think they see benefit just in normal, transactions. Walgreens Pharmacy probably sees a benefit. And pharmacy is really the big money earner for this company. So you want to see the numbers of pharmacy for Walgreens. That's definitely the focus. Walgreens, you want to look at pharmacy numbers, and that's how good the business is doing. Then there's TSMC. We've then got a gorgeous Morgan Stanley. We love Morgan Stanley, okay? That's just the thing. Morgan Stanley should be putting up some good good numbers again, as I mentioned. Truist, Brainstorm, WNS, and Charles Schwab. Again, Charles Schwab is going to be really mentioning and focusing on their completed deal with TD Ameritrade and how that transition works. So I think they're going to be adjusting their earnings estimates and everything like that. Now with this combination of the two, I'm curious to see what this. I think the conference call is the most important part for Charles Schwab, but I can guarantee you new accounts are up pretty big for them because a lot of people are getting into the market this year. A lot of people are. And it's because really there was such a down point, and now that it's going up so quickly, people are all over it. When the market's going up, people join. You know how people are very irrational about things. When the market's at all-time highs, they're joining like crazy. When it's at all-time lows, they're not putting any money in. What's going on with people? That's the opposite of what you should be doing necessarily, but here's the deal. I don't know what's going on. After close, Intuitive Surgical, really cool company, but again, stock price is somewhat ridiculous. I can't lie to you. You got Martin Transport and Del Taco. Never had Del Taco because it's not local to me, but it's, from what I understand, some people really like it, but overall it's very garbage quality. But again, people love garbage quality. I mean, you talk about Taco Bell, it's garbage quality too, but yeah, people love Del Taco. Never had it, so I don't know. Don't have an opinion on it, and I don't know how the earnings are going to do. You know, other fast food have been getting hammered pretty hard, so it's hard to say. What that looks like, really. Very hard to say. And then after, or really before Open Fridays, we have Ally. Yeah, Ally Bank. You love them. You love Ally Bank, okay? Schlumberger. We love Schlumberger. BNY Mellon. I don't know why they ended up naming their company, after their favorite type of fruit, melons. Now, I prefer melons that are not the fruit kind, but the other kind of melons. They're more of appendages, but I'm not going to say that. You didn't hear that. They're State Street, VF, JB Hunt, Citizens Financial, Sensient, and Badger Meter. Is that how you measure badgers? I don't know how you'd measure badgers, really. I've never done it. So that's it for the week. And again, financials are the key this week. If you had any other insights, things you want to focus on, please tell me, because I can definitely do a focus on them. Hope you enjoyed this one, and you have a great, fantastic day. You all are lovely.